to you from the Black Swan Media Studios. This is Fireside Chats, talking to the real difference makers in the world. Now, here is your host, John Crump.
Good evening, everyone. My name is John Crump. I'm a reporter for AmmoLand.com. I cover the breaking news and I investigate places like the ATF so they don't try to screw you over on your rights. I'm also the Virginia State Director for Gun Owners of America. And with that said, if you like what I do here, go ahead, like, comment, and subscribe. I have a join button down below. You can hit that and join up and help support journalism, independent journalism out there. Also, I have a Patreon, patreon.com/John Crump, patreon.com/John Crump. And now for the sponsors. First, we're sponsored by AmmoLand that hooked me up with this sweet podcasting stuff, which is really great. And other than AmmoLand, we are also sponsored by Tufts. Tufts is the only gun-friendly cryptocurrency with 3-second processing times and low transaction fees. It is perfect for your business or for your gun needs because, hey, look, they're going to be coming after guns, and they're going to be coming after the ways we buy guns and gun parts online. So we're going to need something like Tusk.
Proudly sponsored by TUSC, the only cryptocurrency designed with the firearms market in mind, with 3-second processing times. It's the fastest cryptocurrency on the planet. With lower transaction fees than traditional credit cards. It's perfect for your e-commerce needs. For gun guys, by gun guys. Visit TUSC.network for more information and join the digital revolution.
And as always, we are brought to you by Black Swan Tactical. Black Swan Tactical sells 2A gear for the culture war. You can use code Crumpy and get 10% off. All proceeds go back into our projects, which is really cool because I own Black Swan Tactical. So there you go.
Black Swan Tactical, your #1 source for 2A streetwear. With shirts, mugs, hats, patches, flags, and more. There's always something to help you rep the 2A community. All proceeds go back into our projects. Viewers and listeners can take an additional 10% off with code Crumpy. Unapologetically pro-gun, pro-liberty, and pro-freedom gear for the front lines of the culture war.
And with that said, one of our guests is not here yet, but we do have another guest that is with us right now. And he is ready to dish some knowledge out on you about Second Amendment sanctuary movements across the country, which are growing. And I like to think that GOA had a little bit to do with that, at least in Virginia and other places too. Pennsylvania, they got a really strong movement going over there. If you go to gunownersaction.org/SPSO, you can get like a template of what to present to your county board or your city supervisors or whatnot, and our city council, and say, hey, we really need this. Town council, we really need to become a Second Amendment sanctuary. I guess it's called Second Amendment, or the Second Amendment Protection Act. So SAPA, whatever. But let me bring him on because you can go to his website too, which is sanctuarycounties.org. I believe it is.
It's .com. I think I'm at the .org and it just redirects to .com. But
okay, I knew you had the .com, but then I saw like earlier on today I saw the .com, so I was like, which one should I be sending them to?
Yeah, I mostly just deal with the .com. And to answer the question, it's Second Amendment Protection Ordinances is the one that's on the GOA website. You guys actually linked to my website, which was kind of cool. I kind of noticed that by accident. But Also, so that some people are not confused, some places they don't actually use the terminology sanctuary. So you'll see Second Amendment Protection Act, you'll see Protection Ordinance, Second Amendment Sanctuary Ordinance, Second Amendment Sanctuary Resolution. So I mean, it's all over the place. But I mean, it's understandable because some people don't want to be associated with the term sanctuary because it's got a bit of a connotation with illegal immigration. So, but others are deciding to take that term back and use it, especially the guys out in Michigan. They really wanted every single county that passed one of these to include the term. So, it's different in different places.
So what do you prefer? By the way, the website is up on the screen right now, and I will also paste it into the chat so everyone can go and see the awesome work that you are doing. And it really is awesome work.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think you and I talked, or I think I joined one of your fireside chats back in the day, just kind of not in the video, but just hopping on the comments and just letting you guys know. This was back when it was going down in Virginia, and I was just like, hey, this is what I'm doing.
Actually, I had you on the show.
Did you? I've been on a few shows. I don't remember being on this one. I'm surprised.
Man, what are you trying to say?
I mean, maybe just not that important.
Oh my God.
I was just kidding. But no. But yeah, they I obviously prefer the term sanctuary. Otherwise, I wouldn't have named the website sanctuaries. But a little bit of a factoid here. Actually did not know that this was happening in other states. Back when I first got started, I thought it was just a Virginia thing. And I thought like we were just doing our own thing out here. And lo and behold, after, quite a large percentage of counties passed them, I realized that this was happening outside of Virginia as well.
Well, there was like less than 50 before Virginia. And then Virginia, like within like a 3-month period, went from 0 to 3. By January 1st, we had 3. And then by like February 1st, we had like 112.
It was crazy. You know what? And this is something that I actually wrote an article about. But I think one of the ways that I attributed the ability for Virginians to get this passed so quickly was our ability to utilize social networks such as Facebook, specifically Facebook groups.
Now they're trying to take that away.
Oh, they shut them down. So all of the Second Amendment, well, not all of them, some of them still exist, but the larger ones like the Michigan for 2A Sanctuaries Facebook group, the Kentucky United Facebook group, and let's see, Georgia 2A Sanctuary group, like they just been shutting them all down. And they'll come up with an excuse saying like, oh, there was threats of violence or whatever in this particular group. And but I think they're just utilizing it as a method of preventing us from coordinating with one another so that we can't, because we were too successful, especially out in Virginia. And Kentucky like followed close behind us. If you look at the map for Kentucky, it's pretty full. It looks kind of like Virginia.
Well, they kind of banned me totally.
Oh, yeah. Well, there you go.
For life.
Yeah,
for being a dangerous person.
Yeah, you are. You strike a very dangerous persona there.
Like, have you seen me?
But also, Virginia Citizens Defense League group. I believe they got shut down, right?
They did.
Also, oh yeah, and I worked with the Wisconsin Grandsons of Liberty. They had every single one of their Facebook pages shut down. I think that they realized that we were being too successful in coordinating with one another to get these things passed. And so they started shutting everything down, which to me made it even more important that I continue doing what I was doing, because one of the benefits and the reason that I spent like the past 3 weeks publishing state maps for every single state that has passed at least one sanctuary county that I'm aware of, at least one Second Amendment sanctuary that I'm aware of. The reason that I do that is because I want people to see that this is something that's happening in their state. It might be the county, 2 counties over from yours that has done it. And, you're sitting there, you're seeing what's coming out of Washington, D.C. and you're like, well, they're coming for my guns. What can I do? And a lot of people, I get a lot of emails, man. I've been responding to emails like every single day. People are asking me how they can, what they can do to get started. And I think that part of the reason that they even consider trying to get involved is because they see these maps and they see how many other people have done it. in their own counties, and they realize, hey, this is a thing that I can do. How can I get involved? And so it's kind of like a roadmap. And also, one of the most commonly searched for things on my website is the state maps. Actually, they want to see that.
You have been blowing up. I know GOA has taken notice, and we love what you're doing. We
Thanks.
honestly do. But also, you were on your website was shown on a very, very popular show, if I'm not mistaken, recently.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't know who put it in front of him, but Glenn Beck had me on his gun control special on the Blaze. It was last week? Yeah, it was last week. And then the following morning, he actually had me on the radio show. He used my map, which, mind you, he used like the map from back in January, and I had just published one the day before the day of his gun control special. I tried to contact them. I don't know how to get in touch with them. I don't have a publicist, but I was like, hey guys,
go through me, man. Go through me. I have contacts with everyone.
Oh man, I should have thought of that. But yeah, I actually published a map, a national map in was that March 24th, and he keeps for some reason, and this is what kind of frustrates me a little bit, because I listen to Cam Edwards, I listen to other podcasters, people in the 2A space, and they have this notion that there's only 400 counties that have passed Second Amendment sanctuaries, and the number is closer to 1,200.
Yeah.
The last map that I published, I was up to 1,188 Second Amendment sanctuary counties. And that is 37% of the counties in the United States are now Second Amendment sanctuaries. And just so you know, that was from data polled on March 1st. And I have had tons of counties that have passed them while I was busy, excuse me, trying to publish all these state maps, because I'm just a one-man operation. There's not like there's not a big team of graphic designers and whatnot supporting.
I'm getting an intern.
Oh, yeah, I would like to.
I'm happy. I'm interviewing one tomorrow. I'm like, yes, intern.
Yeah. So
do my busy work for me, so I don't have to do it.
So all the while I was publishing or creating these state maps, there was more counties rolling in, and I don't know if you can see on the screen right now. You can see Niobrara County, Wyoming, Wacomico County, Maryland, Lipscomb County, Texas. Those are the state maps.
I'll bring up this one because
that one hasn't changed much, just so you know.
Yeah, but what I wanted to point out is right here, there's these little gray areas.
Yeah, what's up with that?
I live in one.
Oh no.
Right up on top.
Yeah, I actually I used to borrow what was it? Gun Rights Watch. They used to have these Second Amendment sanctuary maps and whatnot, and I used to borrow from Virginia Gun Owners Forum, and I think I'm not sure if GOA published any of them. I borrowed, borrowed, and stole back in the day when I was before I had the ability to do them myself. But over time I started gathering data and whatnot of my own, and I was able to start creating these maps on my own. That looks like a pretty old one, actually. With Maryland, you would be surprised. Maryland actually has a number of Second Amendment sanctuaries.
I know that's why I brought this up right here, because Maryland, you think, is all liberal and stuff, but if you look at this map, it's not. There's these little like power bands, as I like to call them, like these little circles of population that all vote left, that control all of these states. When I say Democrat, when they vote Democrat, because people are like, oh, why don't you say anti-gun? Why do you say Democrat? It's like, because most Democrats are anti-gun. I mean, there's a few that are not anti-gun. The Democrat that's running for the mayor of Pittsburgh is actually endorsed by GOA because he is a no compromise gun candidate. But you're not going to find that. That is an exception to the rule.
Yeah, if you go to where it says maps over there and click on state maps, you can find, yeah, up at the top right.
Top right. Yep.
Yeah.
State maps.
Yeah, that's where all the more recent maps are. So they're basically in alphabetical order at this point. So you could actually find the most up-to-date version of the Maryland map just by kind of scrolling through and flipping through to them, to the M's, I guess.
Yeah. But here's a question for you.
Yeah.
What are you gonna do when states start passing Second Amendment protection laws and stuff like that? Are you gonna mark the whole state, or are you still gonna do it countywide? Or
there's already 4 states, I believe, that have this at the state level, and we mark them sort of. You'll see that there's like purple in with the green. I'm thinking that I'm gonna make a bit of a change on these maps. There's one right there, Kansas. It's Kansas, Wyoming, I think Idaho maybe, and Alaska. It might be Idaho. I'm sorry, I would have, you caught me off guard. But there's 4 of them that have passed it at the state level. But as you and I know, there have been a number of states, Texas, for one, New Hampshire. Some people don't know that, but New Hampshire, like, there's a lot of them. I'm sure there's a link somewhere. But there's a litany of states that are pursuing Second Amendment sanctuary at a state level. And so what I'm thinking is I'm going to change to a different color for the state level. And then I'll have, if it's state and county level, then because that's what I was kind of trying to indicate right there on that Kansas map, is that the entire state is a Second Amendment sanctuary, basically saying that we're not going to enforce any unconstitutional gun laws. But, that's kind of the basis of this. But then you have various counties within those states that have also decided to take it on at a county level as well.
Yeah, let me just blow up the map so everyone can see it of Kansas. Yeah, I mean it's a growing movement, man.
Well, this is, and I mean, I'm glad you called it what it is. It is a movement, and it has frustrated me to no end for, I've been doing this for over a year now. And I'm just some guy in Virginia. I'm not, a big conservative voice. I don't have a huge platform. I mean, 29,000 followers on Parler, but like, I'm not, they shut that down for a while. Some of your audience may know that, but I'm like, finally Glenn Beck, but like, where have they all been? This has been happening this entire time. Just because coronavirus came didn't mean that like everybody stopped caring about the Second Amendment.
Yeah, I think coronavirus actually helped that, because some people that were on the fence got knocked off the fence.
Mm-hmm. Well, also, it's caused it to morph a little bit. Whereas it was just the Second Amendment sanctuary movement, it has become more of a constitutional sanctuary movement. And in fact, many of the counties that were considering Second Amendment sanctuary resolutions or ordinances decided to go the next step and just make it a constitutional sanctuary or Bill of Rights sanctuary ordinance or resolution. And some of them actually did resolutions and ordinances, which there's differences between the two resolutions and ordinances. They say that
ordinances have teeth, basically.
Yeah, that's what. Yeah, that's the point. And I like to say I'm not a lawyer, so I can't. I don't want to give you legal advice, but from what I've heard and read, following this movement for the past year, the ordinances are the ones that are actually enforceable, whereas the resolution is more of a symbolic statement. But I mean, to me, and that's one of the common arguments against being able to do one of these, or actually going through the process of doing one of these resolutions or ordinances. They say, or specifically the resolutions, they say that it's just a symbol. It's just symbolic. It doesn't actually have teeth. And I know in some cases it's difficult to actually get a county board to support one of these resolutions. But one of the things that I like to tell people is that, we kind of have to, and this has been the theme of many conservative shows lately, is that, okay, clearly we lost at the national level. And it's, in Virginia, we lost at the state level. But, many of those things are currently outside of our sphere of influence. Where we do have control, where we can make an impact, is at the local level. And so you're seeing people in county after county across the entire country, as you can see by the national map, they've decided to take it upon themselves to act at the local level. And what frustrates me is that I see all these conservative shows that are talking about, hey, how we need to start. The answer is us, like the Steve Deace show. I don't know if you listen to Steve Deace, but he's like, the answer is us. Daniel Horowitz is talking about, we need to get active at local levels. And I'm like, it's already happening. Why don't you engage the people that are already doing it? Look at my map. There's a great, list of counties right there where you can get people involved because they're already involved. They already have groups set up, 1,000 strong, 2,000 strong, that can go out and start acting at local levels. Why not use this for things other than just the Second Amendment? Once you get the Second Amendment thing checked off, hey, how about abortion? Which, mind you, that is, and I told you this had actually morphed. Well, there's now 23 sanctuary cities for the unborn in Texas. There's 2 sanctuary counties for the unborn in Texas. There's 1 sanctuary county for the unborn in Florida. And that is starting to pick up steam as well. In, was it Rio Blanco County, Colorado? Was it Colorado? I believe it was Colorado. It's some county in Colorado actually introduced and passed a artificial wolf reintroduction sanctuary resolution.
What the hell is that?
So this is actually an interesting story. That I guess they passed the Second Amendment sanctuary resolution. And
Hold
like,
on, I'll make you full screen for this because I have no idea what the hell that even is.
It's interesting. All right, I'll tell you this. I believe they passed the Second Amendment sanctuary resolution in their county. I'll have to look it up to get the actual county that did it. But they passed it, and then there was apparently a vote in Colorado on like legislation that would result in the reintroduction of some species of or some breed of wolf into the rural areas in Colorado, I believe it was. And overwhelmingly, the legislation, the vote failed to pass in the rural areas where the wolves were to be introduced. However, it did pass overwhelmingly in the more urban areas where the wolves were not going to be introduced. So they decided that the people in this county, they were like, you know what, we're gonna do a sanctuary for against introduction of these wolves into our county because they were like, that's going to have a negative impact on our livestock, on our our agricultural, on our farms and whatnot, chickens, cows, like, obviously wolves like to eat. So they actually passed I'm going to be writing an article about that in the near future because, I did call it sanctuarycounties.com. And in the beginning, I assumed it was all about Second Amendment sanctuaries. But like I said, there's been Bill of Rights sanctuaries, constitutional sanctuaries, sanctuary cities for the unborn, sanctuaries for people of faith, which is a bill that's being passed out in Georgia, or worked on, legislation that's being worked on. It was introduced, I believe, by the governor of Florida, Brian Kemp. And now wolf reintroduction sanctuaries. There's been health mandate sanctuaries, vaccine mandate sanctuaries, all sorts of sanctuaries. And I feel like people with the larger platforms are missing out. They're missing it. There's a whole movement happening. It's very grassroots. Nobody's directing it as far as I can say.
No.
I'm just archiving it.
Like, even being like, I would love to say GOA is behind it, but it's not. Yeah. It's really, really grassroots. I just want to point out, since Joe Drag did throw a lot of money at us, which will go to good use, I am wearing my RVD shirt that he sent me. And every time you hear Wolverines, that means someone donated money. And it all goes to good causes, whether it's Make-A-Wish or whatnot. It goes to good causes. None of it's wasted on like stupid crap. I have a lot of causes, from childhood cancer stuff to Make-A-Wish to, feeding homeless or whatever. So yeah, I just wanted to show this shirt off since you did throw some money our way. And thank you, Joe Drag.
Yeah, that was a lot. Very generous.
Oh yeah, he's a very generous guy. If you can also become a member of the channel by hitting that little join button below, and all your money goes to good causes and good things,
Does it pay the intern?
Yeah. No. GOA is giving me that, buddy. GOA. That's for my GOA stuff. I'm gonna get, it's a lot of work.
Speaking of money, right after Glenn Beck featured my website, Google pulled all the ads off my site. which is why you now see I put up some links there. It basically, or some ads of my own. It was like house ads. Mind you, I'm like my own graphic designer, my own web designer, my own writer editor. Like I did all of it, everything I'm doing it, and I'm answering all the questions on email. But so if anybody feels like contributing, to me, go ahead and click one of those links and hit up my Patreon, because I can't rely on web ads anymore. Google shot me down.
Well, guess what? Well, hold on. That's not my Patreon. You're about to get a Patreon.
Yay! Lucky day. Yeah, it's mostly honestly for the past. And I mentioned this when I was with Hank Strange that when I first started the website, like just like many, probably hundreds of thousands, if not millions of other Virginians, probably hundreds of thousands. I don't know how many gun owners there are in Virginia, probably a lot though. But I was very concerned about what was going on at the state level and all the crazy laws that they were trying to pass that would basically make me a felon for owning 15-round magazine or whatever. But so I got into it for just to help, just to try to, like when I first made the website, I made it to be a resource for people to share information about upcoming board meetings. And so I would see in the Facebook groups, I would see people post, hey, Campbell County is going to have a board meeting about the Second Amendment sanctuary resolution on this date. Here's the location of the courthouse. Everybody show up at 5 o'clock or whatever. And so I take that out of the Facebook group because it was a private group, and I would put it on my website and then share it back into the Facebook group with a link so people could easily email that to everybody. So that's why I created it for that purpose. But then it blew up after that. So yeah. A lot of morphing going on.
What would you do different if you could do something else?
Well, let's see. One, I was kind of getting to that point was that I felt kind of wrong to put any ads on it at the beginning. And this, like I was saying, I was discussing that with Hank. He was telling me, he's like, no, you have to put ads on it.
Are you really? You felt wrong? I mean, you have to. I mean,
yeah, but I didn't want people thinking I was just like jumping into it for the money.
Yeah, but you're paying for bandwidth and everything else, man.
Yeah, I paid for the server costs. I paid for the domain names, registration. I paid for Photoshop so that I could do my graphic design. I paid for all this stuff out of my own pocket just to help people, pass sanctuaries in their own counties. So for about a year, I just felt wrong, like advertising. And then I put the ads and it was going great. And then Google pulled them. So, so I don't know if it was even worthwhile, but anyway, so if anybody feels like supporting on Patreon, that's basically the only source of income that the website has. And all of it's just used to help keep the website online. I need to get a better server for next year.
Oh, man. I'm trying to do this, but it keeps on asking me to verify. So I'll get it. I'll become one of your Patreons.
Yay.
Eventually tonight.
Hey, if you depending, I'm making it so I believe it's a $20 level. You can sponsor your own county. $50 you can sponsor your state, and $100 you can sponsor the national map. So that's my most popular page. I'm just trying to be creative as to how I can raise money because big tech doesn't want me to actually make any money.
No, not really.
Unfortunately, yeah. So if you want to support your own county, go ahead and join at the $20 level.
Yeah, I've tried to get on through Brave, which is the browser I usually use, and now it's gonna do something totally stupid. Okay, don't even look at that.
No,
there it is. See, verified device. I've done this multiple times. I don't know what's going on.
It's just a man trying to keep you down.
Yeah, it's a man trying to keep you down because I'm trying to throw some bucks your way, man.
You got a good point there. Hey, so can you show off the national map real quick? I want to show people something.
Yeah, sure. Let me stop this. I'm gonna go back to. I tried it through two different browsers. I don't know why it's not letting me on. I use a browser called Brave. And,
that's a good one.
Which is it's different from like Chrome or Firefox or anything like that. But it wouldn't let me do it, so I thought it was that. But apparently something with my Patreon account. They probably killed my Patreon account, but I wouldn't be surprised. All right. Which natural
The most recent one right there, the 1,188 on the left from March 24th. Yeah. So if you scroll down a little bit, you will see where there's a link to a spreadsheet. Right there. So where's it at? Yeah. Okay. In addition, we have created this Second Amendment sanctuary spreadsheet.
All right. I got it. It's coming up.
Yeah. For any of you that want to do a little bit of research, or if you're interested, I actually went through and I took every single county that I published on the website, and I created a nice spreadsheet so that you guys could all go through, take a look, see which counties are, which counties aren't Second Amendment sanctuaries. And, so you can actually, if you want, I don't know if you more journalistically minded individuals want to actually verify that when I'm claiming there's 1,188 counties that there actually are, you can go over and look at every single link that I have on the website. Anyway. So just thought I would show you that. So if you want to scroll through and see if your county is among them, you can easily go through there and take a look. I got every single one of them. I also have breakouts of the percent of counties in each county that have passed something, and I've been updating it as I add new ones. So the Lipscomb County, the Niobrara County, and the Wicomico County public articles that I just published are now on there. Which is why it says updated March 29th, 2021. So I added those, and I'm going to try to keep that as up to date as possible. So if you ever want to, take a look, see what the latest is in your state, go ahead and check it out. That's there for you. I made it. It's a resource.
Space Texan says he'll subscribe to anyone who supports the Second Amendment and classical conservative ideals, which is a very good thing. You can also subscribe to John Crump News, youtube.com/John Crump News. I'm almost to 2,000 on that, and I just started that channel less than a month ago, actually.
You're always starting over, are you?
Oh yeah. Well, then this time it was. I wanted to separate a live stream and my regular videos. This time it wasn't forced like the other times. I'm sure it will be one day, but not right now.
So, so I think I was talking earlier, Cam Edwards, Glenn Beck, like a number of other people, they keep talking about how there's only 400 Second Amendment sanctuaries in the United States. I'm just a guy in Virginia who, maintains a website, but do you think you guys are going to actually cover this and kind of let people know that there's definitely more? It's a lot more than that. Like that number was over a year old.
I will definitely do that. If you want, I'm taking a little break next. Well, yeah, I'm taking a little break next week. I can. Let me try to knock it out this week. Let me send you some questions for AmmoLand. I'll put all the correct information out there. I'll link to your website. Try to get you some traffic. Try to get you some funding.
That would be
a little bit behind the scenes how the sausage is made here, people. I will talk about how Google deplatformed you from their ad platform, and maybe get you some support.
That would be nice.
Yeah,
I tried messaging
my Patreon gets. They probably kicked me off Patreon. I got kicked off Discord.
Really?
I don't even use Discord for anything but gaming, but somehow they got my email address, and
I never.
wonder how that happened.
Discord.
Facebook.
Why would I ever use Discord? So I don't want to get kicked off either. So, but one thing I will say, I don't know if for anybody who's tried to use AdSense, they actually don't. There's nobody to talk to. Like they kick you off, and there's no recourse. You don't. They're like, oh, you got a problem? Go to the forums. And I'm like, well, nobody works there. There's no Google employees in the forums. I don't know. This is how you treat small minority veteran-owned business owners, huh? Okay, you just kick them off with no recourse. All right, cool.
Yeah.
I tweeted at them, but they don't care.
Yeah, they don't. Space Texan says the Banhammer is always searching for a nail.
Yeah, I raised my head.
Let me see something. Let me see something I might have. Let me see. I might have the cell phone number of the person that runs AdSense.
Oh, yeah, I'll call that person up. Hey, what's up? Why do you hate veterans?
Yeah.
I don't think-
Let me
it's
see.
just an
I might have
algorithm.
it. It looks like I do, but it's on my other computer. I have like a secure hard drive that has like contacts of people that don't want me to have contacts to them.
Nice. I'll be honest. It's probably because of the spike of traffic. Because when Glenn Beck mentions or shows off your website, it leads to a spike. And so there was. I took a screenshot. I've cracked 1,000 people on the website at once, and I was like, "Wait, how's my server going to hold up? I don't know, but we'll see." It managed to hold up, but then immediately, like the next day, Google flagged me for like invalid traffic, and I'm like, "It's not invalid. What did I do? I didn't do nothing because I'm not over there clicking my own ads. That's stupid. I wouldn't do that."
Usually if I got booted one time for invalid traffic if I had a huge traffic spike, and it was like a 30-day AdSense suspension.
Yeah, this is the second time they've done it, or is it the second? Might be the third. Hopefully, I don't get banned. We'll see. But
the weird thing about that is I wasn't. It did look really suspicious because I didn't put anything up or anything. I just had a spike in traffic, and to this day, I have no idea where it came from or why. But over like the course of 2 days, it's just like this random spike of thousands and thousands of clicks.
Yeah, it's interesting too. Is sometimes because if you look in, this is becoming the two-way tech show here, but if you look in your analytics traffic, you won't be able to see. Like in some cases, you won't see who the source is, and I'm like, who did what? Like, what happened? I don't know. I have 20 people on the website or 50 people on the website right now. I have no idea why. So it was kind of interesting.
Yeah.
At any given time, I have like 10 people just cruising around.
Yeah, well, usually that's what I have, about like 10 people. This is on my personal website, not AmmoLand. I don't own AmmoLand or run AmmoLand, but they have a lot more. And all of a sudden, I got hit by 10,000 people at one time. Wow. Which, I mean, I can see why it looks suspicious, but I had nothing to do with it.
Yeah.
And I actually emailed them and said, "Hey, look, your stuff is showing I had 10,000 people at one time." It was like, that can't be right. So they said, "Oh yeah, you're probably right. You're suspended for invalid traffic." Like, I'm the one who told you.
So I'm not the only one. Good.
I was like, I told you, so I wouldn't get suspended or kicked off.
Yeah. Well, you're clearly a Russian bot.
Yeah, I have no idea. To this day, I have no idea. But yeah, it was just weird. I checked, went on my server and checked, and they were all US IPs.
Ah, well, that's interesting.
Yeah, so
that's how they do it in the movies, right? They bounce it off their servers until it gets.
Yeah, I mean, I looked, and they look like valid IPs, which is really weird. So I think it was some type of botnet or something running. Somebody had some type of malware on the computer, turned into zombie computers, and but I don't know what they were targeting.
Not tech related, but one thing that I wanted
sorry to guys.
One thing I wanted to let your viewers know about is on the website there's a link in the main navigation across the top, and it says resolutions. And if you are in a county that does not yet have a Second Amendment sanctuary resolution or ordinance passed, if you click that link up at the top, resolutions, you can actually see a list of all the counties that are on my website for which I have acquired a copy of the Second Amendment sanctuary resolution. And the reason that I point this out is because if you like just kind of scroll through, click any of these resolutions or click any of these articles, and you can look at their resolution and see if it's one that you like. And the reason that the reason again why I point this out is because many times people who contact me, and mind you, I've got hundreds of emails from people trying to do this in their own county. So keep an eye out. There's going to be a lot more in the near future. But one of the things that they contact me about is they ask me, "Hey, how do I do this? What language?" Because most people they don't pass. They don't know how to pass legislation. They don't know anything about submitting resolutions. They don't know any of this stuff. I didn't know any of it until I started getting involved in this, and now I've seen so many board meetings that it blows my mind. But
one of the interesting things on there is I know a couple of those counties actually used our resolution, which is kind of cool to see,
Oh, I show it off, by the way. Because when people email me, I actually have like a template email. By the way, it's contact@sanctuarycounties.com. If you want to email me, I'll send you the template email that I sent to everybody. But a lot of people email me, and I link to your guys' page with it's the Second Amendment Preservation Ordinance, or Second Amendment Protection Ordinance, because you guys have a really good protection ordinance on there, but you also have a petition. And I tell everybody to get petitions signed, because when you show up to a county board meeting and all you have is this ordinance, well, that's one thing. But if you have an ordinance and 2,000 signatures, I mean, these board members, they run for office just like any other politician. So when they see signatures on a petition, that's a whole different story. So if you want to download a copy of I specifically point to that page where I'm like, hey, there's a good ordinance there and there's a good petition there. Download a copy of both, maybe, and all you got to do is just change out, insert county name here and submit it to your board. And they might run it past the some kind of committee or whatever, run it past the county attorney, say, hey, can we do this here? That's the page that I point people to.
Yeah. The URL is up. Actually, it should be HTTPS. Yeah. Secure socket layer.
Yeah, gotta get that.
Yeah, right there.
Yeah, and that's a great page, and they have a copy of the protection order draft. It's on the right-hand side when you scroll down, but also the petition, and that's why I send everybody that emails me I send them to that page.
Yeah, you have the draft and the petition, and it's really strong. It actually has teeth.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think I don't know. Did you see? Was it Newton County, Missouri? Did you see their? They have a Second Amendment Preservation Act. Sorry. They took. I think they took your ordinance and they added a little bit to it. They basically said that
they did.
All of these things, plus if you're a federal agent trying to enforce any of these unconstitutional gun laws, our sheriff will arrest you.
Your ass is going to jail.
I was like, whoa, way to go, Newton County. They ain't messing around over there.
It's very, very strong.
There was a number of other counties that that took basically the exact same Preservation Act as Newton County and passed it since then. I believe it was Mercer County. I think it was Mercer County in Missouri. And then also it was maybe Stark County, North Dakota. But yeah, if you could go to my website and check out the Newton County, Missouri Second Amendment Preservation Act. It is nuts. You should maybe run that past your county board and see if they'll go for it. It's probably the best one that I've seen so far.
Yeah, actually, we actually had talked about that at GOA because we loved it. In Pennsylvania, we're trying to get Second Amendment protection ordinances and stuff passed. We're running into some type of trouble. There is a local two-way group that's kind of like the VCDL, but stupid.
I think I heard about this.
Yeah, you probably have FOAC. I'll name them right now, FOAC. And they have and their president have actively campaigned against Second Amendment sanctuaries behind the scenes because he thinks it violates preemption.
Well, these gun laws violate my Second Amendment, so does it cancel out? I don't know. Yeah, I don't know the legislative math here, but one thing I will say, I don't know if you noticed this in Carbon County, Pennsylvania. There's this individual. His name is Brandon Bell. He's a former Marine, I don't know. They say once a Marine, always a Marine, right? But he is now running. He started doing this before he started running for I think it was town council. But he's basically he couldn't get it passed at the county level. Or I'm not sure if he tried or not, but anyway, he's going township by township through the county, trying to get all the towns to pass Second Amendment sanctuary, like city status, basically. And that's kind of the thing that I try to explain. It's like it's kind of taken what I'm looking at, the counties, sanctuary counties, right? And it's going even further down, even more local. And so he's going city by city or town by town throughout the county. And the cool thing about that is then when you go to present it to the county board, you're like, hey, look at all these cities and all these towns. They all passed it. Why can't you do it? And that's where I'm at with the Second Amendment sanctuary counties. I'm like, okay, we're operating at a local level, but when you look at it at a macro level, look at the state, look at North Carolina, look at Kentucky. If they were to try to pass a Second Amendment Sanctuary Preservation Act at the state level, all they have to do is look at my map to see, where do the voters stand on this? Yeah, look at all that green. That's where they stand. So, you know, when you got these little rhino state legislature
there's tons.
individuals, yeah, and you're like trying to get them to support something like this, show them the map. That's why I make these maps, man. Show them the map. Say, hey, this is where the state stands. Why aren't you with the state? So that's why I kind of do it. And I just thought it was interesting that you mentioned Pennsylvania, because that guy, Brandon Bell, out in Carbon County, I don't know exactly what city, but he's been operating at the count or at the city level, just going city by city, trying to get it passed there first, and then take it to the county. So if you can't get it passed at the county level at first, maybe try it out at the city level.
Yeah, I mean, I can try. Not try. I know I can. I can get him in contact with our Pennsylvania state director.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's running for office now. So, and that's another thing. Like, people are always talking about, hey, you know, what can I do? Well, there's a lot of offices that go, or a lot of seats that go uncontested. You know, maybe you should start running for that.
And VA too. Sorry.
Yeah.
Adjust my camera a little bit, but
I can read your palm.
It's bugging. It was bugging me.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So people don't want to run. And I don't blame them, because if you're not a member of the establishment, you will be attacked from all sides, including the side that's supposed to be on your side.
Yeah, I think, you know, one of the, let's, like, for instance, you know, when you think about the importance of running for local offices before, you know, this situation we're currently in, most people would have never thought, you know, too long and hard about who you vote for school board. But now we're starting to see the importance that these little tyrants can have in our lives. So, you know, we're second guessing our choices. Yeah. Oh yeah. And I'm like, okay, well, next time I'm going to, you know, one of my questions is, you know, are you going to be allowing my children back in school? And secondly, are you going to teach them to be a racist or not? Because I don't like any of this critical race theory nonsense. So speaking of which, you know, that could be another thing that this movement morphs into. It's like sanctuary from these racism education camps that they're trying to make all of our schools into.
Well, there's an interesting thing in Loudoun County where I live at. There was a teacher just caught on video where he showed a picture of a girl, one white, one black, and said, "What do you notice about this picture?" And one of the guys, what's going on in the picture? And he's like, "They're chilling."
Yeah,
like,
2 people chill.
You haven't noticed anything else about it? And he's like, "No." And he's like, You don't realize one's black, one white. It's like, no, you're trying, you know.
Yeah, you're really trying to make this happen. Yeah, I don't know. It's very frustrating, especially for, you know, we'll say a party that likes to think of themselves as the party of the minority, to see them like going so far afield of where, say, Martin Luther King Jr. might have been, to judge people by the content of their character, not the color of their skin. And I'm like, you know, is he a Republican? Like, what's going on?
He was a Republican.
Yeah, well, he's definitely, they seem to have tried to claim him, but he's definitely ensconced in our camp at this point.
They try to claim Lincoln too.
Yeah, except they don't like him anymore. They start defacing his statue and whatnot.
I don't understand that.
And it doesn't make any sense at all.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't at all.
I think, what was it, Space Texan?
Yeah, I want to know what your opinion of Black Rifle Coffee. I guess you're in a Black Rifle Coffee hat. Oh
no, this is a Colonial Shooting Academy.
Oh, okay, it kind of looks like the Black Rifle.
It does. It kind of looks like a reticle. I don't know, but yeah, CSA. I used to go there, but you know, it's pretty far away. I actually joined a local. Isaac Walton League? It's like a nature preserve sort of a thing, and it's kind of cool because they got a range out there.
Yeah, I've been on the waiting list for a while.
Oh,
now.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh man, that sucks. They took
For
me
like
right
a
away.
year.
Yeah,
Yeah, it depends on it depends on which one you join.
I guess so.
Northern Virginia, Fairfax, and Loudoun are both
Okay. Yeah.
crushed.
Yeah, I wasn't too excited about, that Black Rifle when that all went down. I was really frustrated because I had I got a Black Rifle T-shirt. I got the I had actual Black Rifle coffee, and I'm like, oh, man, I don't know. But I mean, some people are, they're like, hey, are we any better than the rest of these cancel culture people? And we're not willing to give grace. And I'm like, I don't know. I just subliminally, I just stopped buying their stuff. I don't hate them.
I think cancel
I got nothing
culture
against them, but
I mean,
stop buying it.
stop buying the stuff is fine. I don't think that's cancel culture. I think cancel culture is when you insist on everyone else stop buying their stuff as well.
Yeah, I'm not into that. But I don't know. I just didn't buy any of their coffee after that. I'm like, all right, well,
There is a good company called Defender Coffee, and it's not sponsored or anything. But the reason why I like them is they donate 100% of their profits to gun rights organizations. So you can choose like GOA or SAF or FPC or any number of gun rights organizations besides the NRA. They don't have NRA, just because they don't want to have NRA.
Yeah.
VCDL's on there, and you just choose that, and 100% of the profits actually goes to.
That's cool. I didn't know that. Defender, you say?
It's Defender Coffee. Yeah, their mission is not to make money. The guy started it basically as a way to fund money to the gun rights organizations out there. So he started a coffee company, and
that's very cool.
They don't actually make a profit. I mean, they make money to sustain themselves and to pay their employees and stuff, but the company itself doesn't make profit. It all goes back into the 2A community, which is one of the reasons why I do what I do with the money that I make here. Is because they inspired me.
To answer the question from Gorillas and Guns, it was in Richmond, the Colonial Shooting Academy in Richmond, which if you haven't been there, it's pretty awesome. I love it there. I would keep going, but it's kind of like an hour drive there and an hour drive back. So it's a little easier to go local.
Yeah, I wish I could shoot in my backyard, but
yeah, I wish too.
are like really close to me, so
I think the HOA would have an issue.
Pretty sure. I live in a pretty hoity-toity liberal neighborhood.
Yeah. Did you say Loudoun County?
Yes.
Yeah, that's, oh man. Wow.
I live in Ashburn.
Yikes.
Which is kind of not exactly the most gun-friendly neighborhood.
You can imagine.
But, it is what it is. Yeah. B.A. Wolf is from Fairfax, so that's a good place to live.
So
we're good.
Trying to look into getting set up with Tusk as well. I noticed
I can help you with that.
Everybody's well. I already talked to them. I think is it the CFO that I was speaking to? I can't remember.
Rob McNeely.
Yeah. And so I'm very interested. It's just a matter of I've been busting out these state maps for so long that but I'm very, very interested in Tusk, and especially with you see them trying to put firearms industry out of business through the back door, basically, kind of behind the scenes. Like you can't get credit, you can't,
that's why Tusk is important. That's why I push it a lot.
Oh, I'm totally behind that.
I mean, they're a sponsor, but I push it because that's what's going to happen. We're going to get deplatformed by credit cards and stuff, but you can't deplatform Tusk.
Yeah. So it's like you can't buy a gun with Visa. That's where it's going to go eventually. Oh, that sounds like you're trying to buy a gun. Why are you shopping at a gun store? That's a gun website. Why are you trying to buy a magazine? You can't do that with our Visa card.
That's why Hank Strange is also pushing Tusk too.
Yeah, that's why I found
We've had very many conversations about that.
Very interesting.
And if it's not Tusk, it's something else, but we're going to have to go to some type of crypto.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason why I like Tusk is because they have a 3-second processing time, where Bitcoin and the other ones are like 10 minutes.
Yeah, there's not a pay that.
It has to do with the size of the blocks.
Mm-hmm.
and the 1 megabit block. It's all technical, but it takes at least 10 minutes for Bitcoin.
That's crazy.
With Tusk, it's 3 seconds.
Actually, I talked. I remember I talked to was it Mr. McNeely on the phone, and I was asking him questions about Tusk and like are people going to get crazy rich by buying Tusk? And he's like, well, it might make some money, but one of the things that you have to keep in mind is that one of the goals of Tusk is for you to spend it. And so one of the interesting things that he pointed out is that with Bitcoin, you have a finite amount of Bitcoin, and the longer, the further you get towards reaching that finite amount, the more rare they are. And so like they start gaining in value over time a lot. And he's like, one of the problems that you end up with a cryptocurrency like that is that nobody wants to spend it, because you'll find out, you'll be that one guy that bought a pizza for one Bitcoin, and now you're like, dang, that was $50,000 worth of pizza. What the hell was I thinking? So one of the goals that that he explained to me was to have a certain percentage of what's the word? Basically increasing value over time, not based on how much is left over, but just to have it slowly increasing value over time to encourage people to actually spend it. So that was an interesting aspect. I was like, oh, that's kind of cool. I didn't think about that.
Yeah, I've bought a backpack that you pull it out and it turns into like a bulletproof vest or bullet resistant vest, a Kevlar vest. So you just go like, I've bought that from a Citizen Armor. They accept Tusk, and I use some Tusk to buy that.
Nice. Yeah, I gotta set up. He told me they have a payment gateway now, so
yes.
Gotta go to forgingblock.io.
Yep, forgingblock.io. I have tested it, and it does work.
All right, I'm about to test it whenever I get some free time on my hands. I really want to test that out.
Yeah, forgingblock.io. You can add Tusk. You can also do like other types of crypto too. Tons of different crypto. You're gonna accept, but yeah, I think it's gonna take off, and I think it's gonna be very good for the industry. And I don't think it's going to be something that we're gonna have a choice in.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. It's just the way it is. So wrapping up here, let me ask you one question. Where do you see your website in a year?
In a year, well, I'm hoping to at least have as many Second Amendment sanctuaries on the map as there are conservative counties in the country. So hopefully that may be a lofty goal, but that would be a nice thing to have in 1 year's time. But also, I believe that one of the things that you will see in the next year is that, as I was discussing, things are morphing. This sanctuary concept is being applied to different conservative ideals and values, specifically the right to life, basically the right to basically attend church and whatnot, freedom of religion. There was I think Campbell County, Virginia is a First Amendment sanctuary now. They're the first one that I know of. Vaccine mandate sanctuaries, that might be huge. Vaccine mandate sanctuaries, face mask sanctuaries, like it's going to go nuts. I don't know exactly where this is all going to end up, but I think it's kind of cool that something that I've been archiving for the last year or so has taken on a new set of legs and is going to branch out into all sorts of different areas. So I'm looking forward to seeing where that goes.
That is awesome. I just want to let everyone out there know you can find me at crumpy.com. You can also check out my writing at amaland.com. Be sure to go to GOA. You can get 25% off your GOA membership by going to gunowners.org/black-swan-media. The audio-only version of the podcast will be out tomorrow by noon, usually around 9, but noon at the latest. Support us on Patreon, patreon.com/John Crump. With that, I'm going to take tomorrow off, but I will be back on Thursday with Glenn Fleming from Drive Tanks and also from TV. I want to thank Noah so much for coming on. And Noah, I'm going to give you the final word.
All right. So as you know, I've been archiving these Second Amendment sanctuaries, but as I've been mentioning, it's been morphing. There's more going on than I have time to archive. So check out constitutionalsanctuaries.com, constitutionalsanctuaries.com. If you want to see just kind of like a Bongino report style website, just with links to news stories, so you can stay on top of things. I'm putting everything there as it happens, and then I archive it later on Sanctuary Counties.
All right, guys, that is it for me. I'll see you guys tomorrow. This is Fireside Chats with John Crump, and we are out.
You've been watching Fireside Chats with John Crump, a Black Swan Media Group production. Like, comment, share, and subscribe. Tune in every week for a conversation with the difference makers in the world.